Alright, so we're back. So I guess this is video 5, part 5. It's kind of like a two-parter of 4 and 5, if that makes any sense, because I haven't really moved. I've just sat here in the same place. I mean, I could make it one long video. Maybe I will. We'll see by the end of this, see how long it is. If this is too long, then I guess you are seeing this as a separate video. If it's not too long, then I guess you're seeing me talk about it as if it's one video. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Let's get on to the next question.
Tasks and making decisions.
So obviously, that referring back to the last question about do I struggle with tasks and making decisions. Yeah, I do struggle to make decisions. Like I said, I forever getting my partner to make all the decisions, and even then she struggles with decision making too. So it's like between the both of us, we're I wouldn't say useless, but we definitely have our difficulties in making decisions sometimes. So yeah. Anyway, next question.
Do you struggle with sleep?
Do I struggle with sleep? Um, yeah, definitely 100%. So I don't have a set sleep pattern. I probably should. It's just it doesn't work for me for whatever reason when I try and have a sleep pattern because of the pain and constantly living with that, and also because of being like mind races, which I think the pain's probably like a fibromyalgia thing. The racing mind can be, I suppose, ADHD thing. I don't know. I don't really know much about these conditions. All I know is I'm neurodiverse. That's about as much as it gets. And I believe I'm on the autistic spectrum. So this is why these videos are here, and this is why I'm doing them. And I'm hoping that me putting these all out here might help someone else realize that they might be, or maybe they're not. That's good either. Good either. That's good as well. Sorry. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely struggle to sleep. Sometimes I'll get like 2 hours, 3 hours a night. Other times I'll sleep 10, 15 hours, depending. Most nights I'm lucky if I get 6 hours, basically. On average, I'm between 4 or 5, and then sometimes 6 or 7 hours. But mostly, like I say, I'll be lucky if I get 6 hours. I tend to be like not really sure about all this because I don't have a set routine, so there's no way of really knowing. Sometimes I'm sleeping during the day. Sometimes I'm sleeping during the night. Sometimes I'm sleeping in the evening. It's like if I find like after doing this, I might feel burnt out, and then I might want to have a nap. I don't know. It's just, I mean, obviously not straight after this. I mean, like once I've uploaded it, I might just go for a nap or something. I don't know. It's really hard. At the moment, I feel quite awake, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, I struggle with sleep.
Do you suffer with light sensitivity?
All right, so we already covered this about sensory issues earlier on. Do I suffer with light sensitivity? Yeah, I think I covered this in the part 4, just before this lot. So yeah, I'm definitely, yeah. When I go outside, I mentioned about sneezing and stuff. So light sensitive. Also, when I enter a room, sometimes if the room is larger or smaller, going from one large room to a smaller room can be really difficult. But then I also have double vision, so it might not be noticeable in my videos. There's a slight turn in my eye. Like, I don't know if you can see it there. If I turn that way, I don't. My eye doesn't fully go. But anyway, if I tilt, if I have my the way I've come, sorry, the way I've positioned the camera in here, it almost looks like I'm looking straight on when I'm looking at the camera, but I'm actually looking slightly to a tilt. There's me straight on now, and I can kind of see double. So yeah, that affects me with light sensitivity as well. But obviously, I covered the light sensitivity before I had the double vision, which yeah, I have glasses. Luckily, so when I'm outside, I can see quite good when it comes to glasses. But indoors, it can be a bit of a nightmare. Um, yeah, so they help with the double vision. That's what I mean. But anyway, next question.
Do you struggle to go to new places?
Do I struggle to go to new places? Yes, I do. I love going to new places, so I love seeing new places. Like, I love meeting new people, and I love seeing new places. But I do struggle when I'm there. Like the idea of somewhere new is always very overwhelming, jarring. I love that word, jarring. I don't love that word. It's a word that I keep repeating for some reason. So yeah, that can be really difficult. I don't know. I'm actually just shaking my leg thinking about it. So I guess that's like a subconscious response that obviously I've become consciously aware of it now because I'm doing it. But I think the idea of just seeing different places. That being said, I do want to move at some point, so there is that. But I don't know. I just want to move somewhere nicer. This place where I live, obviously in Scotland, is lovely. I want to stay within the same region. I just want to move to a nicer property, if that makes any sense. But yeah, definitely struggle with like different places and stuff. In fact, one time I went to London for an appointment and I met a friend there, and this is when I was a lot younger, and it was so terrifying. I got really scared, and my friend said, "Don't worry," and he helped take me to the train station and make sure he got my tickets for me. I paid for them myself, but he made sure I was on the train and printed out the right tickets because I get so overwhelmed with all the stuff. I just the idea of living on my own again, or having to deal with stuff, or having to go places, it's just I don't get much done. I think it's why I don't work because I struggle so much. Anyway, next question.
How do you cope with taking care of yourself, such as hygiene and eating right?
How do I take care of myself and think? Well, I have my partner, so that really helps. So she cooks a lot of meals. I do cook once in a while when I'm having a good day and I'm not in too much pain, or because standing near the cooker actually really hurts my back after a while, and I get dizzy. I have a lot of dizzy spells. I tend to suffer with a lot of vertigo and stuff because I sound like a broken person, like I'm suddenly going to just collapse and fall apart. I have a lot going on, so yeah, there's been a lot going on the last couple of years, but I'm not going to go into that today because that's not really about what this is about. But yeah, so I'll cook the odd meal, maybe once or twice every couple of weeks. If I mean, it's more like once or twice a month to be honest. When it's me cooking, my partner does a lot, so I've got to be really grateful for her. She's kind of like my carer. In that sense, she helps out a lot because obviously with the F&D and stuff like that, she's always been a great support for me. So yeah, I really appreciate her. Um, Hygiene wise, I'm always forever washing, so I'm very self aware because I've got a really good smell. If I smell like, oh, I smell a bit of BO or whatever, because we all have it if we've been working out on a bag, or if we've just been like hot that day because our body's a bit warmer because it's the summer or whatever, we sweat, and then maybe not when you initially sweat, you might smell fine, but like maybe a couple of hours after you've been sat there and you haven't realised you're a bit sweaty, or at least I can smell it because I've got such a sensitive nose. I'm probably not that bad. Other people go past and like, oh, you smell fine. And I'm like, I can smell it though, I need to change. I mean, I've actually went up to my partner before and said, do I smell? And she's like, no. And I'm like, I smell, I feel like I smell. And then I've often gone and got a bath. So I absolutely love showers. Now, sadly, I don't have a shower in this place, and that makes me really sad because I just love showers. I could sit in a shower all day long. I don't know what it is. I just love water. I love the way water feels against me when it like pours into my head and stuff. I would sometimes run a bath, not run a bath, like sit in the bathtub with the shower on, lay in the bath and let the water just rise. And when the water gets to the top, that's when I know it's time to come out. And that would take about half an hour because it's obviously slow water. But yeah, I used to love that. Um, I always like to sit in the shower rather than stand, which apparently was considered weird. A lot of people said that's just weird. Like most people stand, but I just love sitting. I like sitting in the shower. I don't know. The idea of standing in a shower just seems odd to me. I don't get that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm quite hygienically clean. That's one thing I do look after. Obviously, in times in the past where I've been really depressed and I haven't wanted to get out of bed, I may have stayed in bed for like 2 days straight. And then obviously, probably by that point, I'm not too good. But as a whole, yeah, I'm pretty clean. Like I'm not rich. I'm not very well off. Don't have a lot of money. As you can see, plain walls and stuff. Nothing's decorated. Still haven't got a full curtain in here. It's just like a make do. I don't know why we've been here 5 years and we still haven't done that curtain. I mean, that's how bad it is. It's not like we can't do it. All we got to do is get a curtain pole and put some curtains on it. But it's the idea. I'm stimming again. I can feel my leg every time I'm talking about topics that are difficult. I feel myself shaking. I didn't even know that was called stimming until I did some research. I'm actually also fiddling with my hands, but you can't see it because it's kind of off camera. But yeah, just the idea of talking about yourself being poor or not having a lot of money or not doing stuff, it almost makes you sound lazy. And maybe I partly am lazy, I don't know, but I don't think it's to do with laziness. I think it's just being overwhelmed and having to do these things. And the idea of like breaking routine, I just feel like there's not enough hours in a day. I feel like days should be like four days long, and that's just one day. I know that wouldn't help because it'd get dark and light. But then I don't care what time in dark and light is anyway. I don't know. I guess it's not really important. But yeah, I tend to have good hygiene, is what I'm saying. Despite being poor, I tend to make sure that I look after myself.
Do you either have high empathy or a lack of it?
I definitely have high empathy. Like, I don't know, even people that have been cruel to me in the past, I still kind of wish them well, and it's kind of sad. Like, whenever someone's been mean to me, I'm always forever thinking, I hope that person's okay. Like, despite them, like, if I hear something bad happen to them, like, it makes me sad. For instance, there was one instance, I won't mention the person's name because I don't think that's fair. But basically, there was a person years ago who used to bully me in school, and after we left school, we became friends. And he apologised, and quite frankly, I wasn't scared of him anymore. I was like, "Kick your ass if you even come near me." So at this point, I don't know, I was very confident, I suppose you could say. But all in all, he seemed to turn a corner, and then I went to search for him on Facebook about a year ago to go and see if I could reach out to him to become friends on Facebook. And I realised that he passed away, and that made me sad. And this person was quite horrible to me for many years. Like, really hurt me in school, did some nasty stuff to me. And I actually cried. I cried that he was gone. And just the idea of talking about this is making me emotional, so I'm gonna go on to the next question. I get really attached to people and animals and stuff. I'm quite an empathetic person, and I don't like that. Sometimes I wish I was just soulless or something, because then at least it'd be like, I don't have to worry about people. But yeah, because people are horrible. Let me put that out there. I'm not saying all people are horrible. How about this? People aren't horrible. People can be horrible and people can do a lot of nasty stuff, but there's a lot of good people out there. I feel like there's probably a lot more good people than there is bad people. It's just when bad people do. Sorry, there's a lot more people that do good things than they do bad. It's just when people do bad things, they stand out a lot more because essentially things that are bad you remember. Things that are good, unless they're extremely good, it's hard to remember. Because good should be the standard, I suppose.
How do you handle friendships and relationships? Do you find it difficult to uphold?
Well, how do I. Friendships, I I've always struggled with friendships. I mean, I've got friends, but they're mainly online. Um, I just feel like people don't get me. Like, I either talk over them and say the wrong thing, or I don't know. I've struggled with friendships over the years. I do feel like I'm quite liked. Like, a lot of people like me. It's not that I don't believe I'm not likable. I believe that I am likable, if that makes any sense. But God, I'm stimming again. I keep shaking because I'm so nervous. It's like when I talk about I guess these are sensitive topics for me, I suppose. I didn't even notice this was. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know. Oh, relationship. When it comes to relationships, though, I tend to fall in love really, really fast. So when I got with my first partner, um, we basically were together for about a couple of weeks, and then we were married. We were engaged within the month, married within three, um, and that relationship didn't work out for reasons that I'm not going to go into. But it wasn't a bad reason. We split up on good terms. So yeah, I don't know. Whenever I get really attached to people really quick, I feel like I can be overwhelming. I feel like because I'm quite an emotional person, I can be quite needy sometimes. I don't mean to be. And I feel like if people are ignoring me, I get like, why are they ignoring me? Like, why? I'm not. I'm a lot better than I used to be. But I do feel like I can be a little needy, and that's not healthy, I suppose. But I do try and keep it in check, and I think that's something I've always struggled with. But I tend to think my relationships with people are really good when I do have relationships. I do only have a few friends that I can truly say that I feel connected to. And when it comes to real life friends, like ones in person that are not online, that you essentially go coffee and stuff with, I don't have any of them apart from my partner, sadly. It's not that I'm not capable of having close friends. I have in the past, but we kind of just drifted apart, and they've kind of like gone in different directions to my life. So it's just kind of awkward, really. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next question because that's quite a difficult one.
Do you any special interests? Topics you know a lot about? If so, I'd love for you to talk about them.
Do I have any special interests, topics that I'd like to talk about? Well, I used to write a lot of songs. I used to do a lot of singing. I don't think I still sing a lot, but I don't. I mean, I sang earlier on the last video or this video, depending if it's still all one video. So I do a lot of singing that I really enjoy. I enjoy gaming, but I haven't really got into gaming recently. I've been kind of on a struggle. Like the last couple of years, like I said, it's been really hard. I don't really want to go into details because I feel like if I go into details, people are going to feel sorry for me, and that's not what I want from this video. I want this video not to be the focus of something bad that's happened to me, if that makes any sense. So I kind of want to just keep away from that, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'll mention it in a different video, who knows. But I kind of just want to focus on what we're doing here with this. But topics that I like to watch, I like to play games, I like to watch TV shows like Breaking Bad. I would definitely recommend it if you're into that sort of thing. I love true stories and true crime and things like that. I like all that sort of stuff. I don't know. This is a really hard question because I'm trying to think. You know, the worst part is my memory sucks, so I'll probably remember after the video's ended, and by then it's like, now I've uploaded it. And I don't know. It's just I'm trying to keep these questions, answer them as I'm given them, so they're more authentic. But it's really hard. I don't know topics that I want to talk about. I'm sure there is, but I can't think off the top of my head right now. But yeah, I'll definitely think of something and I'll have a private conversation with you even if I don't do it on here, since you made the questions up. But I wish I could say something interesting. God, I sound like I've got a boring life. I don't think it's that I'm a boring person. I'm willing to do stuff. I'd love to go places and do bowling, play darts. I used to be really good at darts. I used to love playing pool. See, when it comes to pool, or snooker, it's all about mathematics, and I'm good at calculating maths, so it's all angles. If you can work out the mathematical angle, then you can do really well at pool. It's just, to me, it's not a game of pot the ball. It's a game of work out the angles and then you win. It sounds terrible, but I was actually really good at pool. So if anyone who I ever meet in the future is watching this and wants to have a game of pool with me, there's actually one story actually where I actually went in there and I was playing pool against someone and I beat them, and he was going easy on me because I believe he was a pool shark at the time, and we were betting money on who would win and stuff, and I kept winning, so I thought, well, okay, I'm winning now. And then he started playing like a lot harder and I still kept winning, and then I could see that he was getting angry and things started going downhill, and he basically broke the queue and stuff, I believe, and then chased us out. I don't know, it was so long ago. I can't remember exactly if that even happened, like in that sort of sense, but it wasn't great. Do you know what I mean? I just remember feeling, oops, maybe we should go, and he was really annoyed at the time. That was a strange experience. This was back when I was living in England, because I lived in England for a while. But I love playing pool. I should play pool more often, but I don't know where. I'd have to go to Edinburgh for that, and that's like really far away. Because I live in the Scottish borders somewhere, so yeah, there's that. Anyway, next question.
Do you notice patterns and repetitions?
I'm forever noticing patterns and repetitions and stuff. I'm forever even when playing computer games like Tomb Raider and stuff, I can work out the patterns of that to know how to solve the puzzles and stuff. I used to love jigsaws as a child, so I didn't actually know, obviously I knew a jigsaw existed, but when I was like about, I don't know, 8-9-year-old, I'd go to my friends to go and play outside, and his dad was building jigsaws at the time, so I went into his house, and I ended up joining him, helping him do the jigsaw, and I remember just showing him how to do it an easier way. I said, you must always start on the outside and build on the outside and then fill it all in. And I'd put the jigsaw pieces all into different colours by colour sort of thing as much as I possibly could. And then I just found it really easy, so I got really addicted to noticing patterns within that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm answering this question wrong because I feel like I find it difficult answering questions because I feel like questions always have more than one way they can be taken. Does that make sense? I feel like I need things explained to me in layman's terms, not because I don't understand stuff, but because there's just so many ways that something can be taken. Like when someone texts you a message on a thing, you can take it so many ways. You can take it in a way that's positive, or in a way like, are they being moody with me? Obviously, smiley faces, reactions, that kind of make it a bit more easier to understand. But I find it really difficult sometimes to know people's intentions when it comes to like text messages. When it comes to puzzles, like raw puzzles, like you can notice something's different. I tend to spot it and find it quite easy to do. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose I notice patterns and stuff. Like, I feel like this is not what the question was about. I notice patterns and things. If something keeps happening, I will pick up on it if that's what you mean. Like, God, I feel like I can't explain this. I'm terrible. Maybe I'll explain this in a different video if someone can explain what this question actually meant to me, because I feel like I've answered this question completely wrong. So I apologise for that. Anyway, this is coming to the end, I think, because there's not much left.
Do you have a vivid imagination?
Do I have a vivid imagination? Yes. Oh my God, do I have a vivid imagination? That is one thing I've kind of been, I say gifted with. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. So like, if I was to notice someone like fall outside or whatever, I don't know what if this is even going to work. This is probably a shit example. Sorry for swearing. And someone was to say, "All right, what happened? Like, did you notice? Like, I heard that guy fell or something. What happened?" No, that's not a vivid imagination. That's more of an explanation of going into detail about something. A vivid imagination is someone explaining something to me, and then me imagining it in much more detail. Yeah, I've definitely got a vivid imagination though. So like, I'll just go into so much detail with something. So if someone says, I don't know, like, God, why am I so terrible at figuring out how to say these things? Like, it's all up here. I just can't get it out. But yeah, do you know what I'm just going to say? I do. Like, I have an extremely vivid imagination. Like, I could tell a story, I could make a story about two ducks that were on a farm, and these little ducks decided to go shopping. So they put little backpacks on, and they went out on a trip, and essentially one was called Frank and the other one was called Sally. So Frank the duck and Sally the duck, and they both went shopping near a little village that they travelled to on a tricycle. I don't know why they would travel on a tricycle, but they did anyway. And they, on the way, they bumped into like a rhinoceros for some reason, and it was just like being really aggressive and saying, "You're not coming this way, ducks, go home." And they're like, "Well, no, we're not going home." You know, this is actually terrible. Forget that story, that's absolutely terrible. Do I have a vivid imagination? Yes, I have probably one of the biggest vivid imaginations you can even think of. I even have vivid dreams, like where like I remember so much and like they're just so wild. But yeah, I'm forever getting told off for being like, for overthinking stuff and stuff. I don't know. I feel like I'm explaining this all wrong, and I feel like this sucks. I suck at this. I don't suck at being a vivid imagination. I suck at explaining stuff, and I think that story I just told was really shit, and not very funny. Well, I mean, it wasn't meant to be funny. I don't know. I feel like I've lost track, and now I'm just ranting. Anyway, next question, if there even is any.
And lastly, how do you handle it if plans get changed or cancelled? Okay.
Oh, let's back this up. Alright, so that's the last question. How do I... So this one's actually... I didn't think this was a bad one. So normally if a plan gets changed and we were planning to go to town that day or whatever, and then my partner's like, "Oh, I don't feel like going, I'm not feeling up to it," I might get a bit sad and like, "Oh, I was really looking forward to it." And that might be a bit jarring. However, if something's been planned for a while and we're supposed to go, like I was supposed to get my hair cut, my eyebrows done, and what else was I supposed to get? And my hair dyed. And we arranged to get it done, so my partner had hers arranged to get dyed as well. She didn't want hers cut because hers was already long. Well, not long, but like she was growing hers, so she didn't need it cut. So I guess shorter than long, because why would, if it was long, you get it cut. Anyway, whatever. The point is, she was growing her hair, and she didn't want it done, and she was having a hard time, and something was happening within her life that was making her low mooded. So she just felt like she didn't want to go out that day because she was struggling, and I was really upset. I was like, oh, but we planned it, and then she phoned up the day. Well, it's actually the day before. She phoned up the day before and cancelled and said that she doesn't want her hair dyed anymore. And I only found out in the evening that she cancelled. So I tried to phone back and said, oh, she's just feeling really low at the moment. Can you maybe sort out this person's appointment? And she's like, we can't, sorry. The appointment's already been given away because I've got a business, and she's got to make sure that she's always got someone coming in so she can make money to survive off. I guess it's her business, it's her livelihood, I guess, so nothing wrong there. And essentially, because of that, they wasn't able to give us the replacement, so my partner said, you can go by yourself. So I was like, I don't really want to go by myself. And she's like, oh, it'll be fine. I really don't feel like it. Maybe you can cancel it and get it done another time. I said, well, no, I want it done. I can't remember the exact words, but anyway, so I went out, and my first appointment was going to be my eyebrow appointment, and that was due to last only like 15-20 minutes. And then after that was my haircut appointment, and then from my haircut it was going to be to my hair dye. So like eyebrows, haircut, hair dye, and these are all 3 different people, so each one does something. So the eyebrow lady, the haircut lady, and then the dye lady. So essentially I went to go to my hair appointment, and as I was about to get on the bus, I got a text message saying I'm running late, car's broke down, I'm not going to be able to make it. So I was like, well, who is this? Because they didn't even say who they were. So I hadn't had a clue who it was at this point, because I didn't recognise the number, because I'd never had this person within my number, because it's the first time going to get my eyebrows done. So she wrote back and said, I wrote to them and said, who is this? And they explained who they were. I kind of guessed it would be them because I have the other 2 people on my phone number already. And by the time I got there, so not by the time I got there, so she wasn't going to be running late. She was going to be running late, so she suggested I maybe go there for 10 o'clock rather than 9:15, which she was originally intended, so 45 minutes late, if you will. So I agreed to that, and then I went and got my hair cut instead, because I was already in town by about 10 past anyway. So I got my hair cut, everything was going okay at that point. And then by the time my haircut was finished, it was now coming up close to 10 o'clock. So I kind of went over to get my eyebrows done. So far it wasn't going too bad, even though I was feeling really stressed out and really anxious that day. But because I was talking to this lady in there, because it's the first time I ever met her, and I got yapping, I didn't realise the time. And what should have been a 15-minute appointment ended up being about 45 minutes. So I went back over to where my hair dye appointment was, and the lady's like, I'm not going to be able to dye your full hair in the way that you wanted it. I can only part dye your hair. So that made me feel sad, like I was only getting my hair part dyed. But we kind of got the hair dyed, and in the end I wasn't even happy with how my hair looked in the end, because I felt like I made bad decisions. I felt like I should have waited and maybe got it dyed on a different day so I could have it all done the way I wanted it. So yeah, I feel like if something's not going right, just rearrange or something. So I felt really stressed, and I felt like I'd let the lady down that was dyeing my hair, and I was crying in her chair. I said, I'm really sorry, and she was reassuring me there was nothing wrong and I'm fine and that. And I was dead emotional because I was like, oh my god, I feel like I've let you down, I should have been here sooner, I'm so sorry and stuff like that. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it, we're going to do what we can. We'll do like a half dye, and we'll put some colour and run some stuff. And to be fair, in hindsight, I look back at the pictures of me with my hair, I had like blues and greens going through it, and it actually looks quite lovely in hindsight, but I didn't like it at the time because it wasn't what I wanted, it wasn't what I planned. So it kind of broke up my original plan of wanting to do something, and that made me really, really sad. So I kind of needed it sorted, and I was just really stressed and deregulated that whole day. And I never thought that changing routine would affect me so much, but it really did. It just really, really upset me. And it only upset me. The only reason I didn't notice routines being changed very often is because the routines I normally have are very straightforward. It's like go for a coffee, go to a doctor's appointment, go pick up some stuff from the shop whilst we're out, go home. Next appointment 4 days later, to the doctor's, go for coffee, have a meal whilst we're out there, and go home. These are very simple tasks. They're very something I've always done. It's similar, it's familiar, it's not scary. And when it's something new, like throwing in the the eyebrow thing that I've never done before, that was very overwhelming. So I ended up talking and getting carried away with telling her loads of stuff about myself. And to be fair, she was lovely, but I just feel like I'd lost track of time and I hadn't made it really aware that I had to be in a rush to go elsewhere. By the time I got back to the appointment, I was like over half an hour late, and technically over 45 minutes late in total because my appointment was supposed to be for 10 o'clock there. But the lady that cut my hair said to her she'll be an extra 15 minutes because she didn't get to do her eyebrows. So she explained to this lady, and she's like, yeah, that's fine. But then that 15 minutes turned into 45, and I just felt so awful. I felt like a really bad person. And even though, sorry, that's another thing as well. When I get emotional, like I want to cry, my nose gets itchy, like I'm going to sneeze. Sometimes I sneeze so I don't cry. Same with the sunlight thing. I don't know what that is. It's kind of weird. And I don't want to cry on camera because that's just, well, it's not ridiculous because everyone should be able to, but it's not what I don't want to cry on camera, so yeah. I'd rather be making you all laugh. Normally, when I tell stories, they're usually quite funny, but yeah, so that's that. I think we're done. So I'm going to wrap this up here, and I may cover some more questions next time. I guess if people are watching this, because I am going to make this public, they could leave comments in the section for like different questions they want to ask me, and I'll ask them in the next video. And I guess we'll go for there. But I appreciate all yous. I thank you, and I hope you're all having a lovely day, and I hope you have a lovely week. And yeah, happy Autism Awareness Day, and happy Autism Acceptance Week. I hope you all have a great evening and take care. Bye for now.